I'm really happy to greet you, and of course, as we realized when we prepared this fantastic new tool for helping the so-called participatory democracy, of course, we made it clear that within 3 years' time, we really would like to see how it functions in reality, because I would say we are in uncharted water, but I would see, because we were quite critical, that we are very pleased to get it. Meanwhile, we do the preparation, because I am 100% convinced that all of my colleagues can tell you that that was a historical event in the parliament, because 98% of my colleagues voted for this new instrument, and believe me, within half a year, we really try to make everything possible, and of course to put a pressure on the council that from 2012, April 1st, we really would like to get this new instrument be functional. Of course, we had a great fight with the Commission concerning the security check and a lot of other things concerning residency, concerning the age. But of course, I believe that we really tried to do something which had a high consensus within the European Parliament. And of course, we had a lot of meetings, public hearing by the Greens, Liberals, and us as well. So we really try to do it, but of course, you try to do something which is perfect. Sometimes you can, and of course, I'm sure that I already found somebody who is very keen to help to do a better legislation after 3 days' time, and I'm really very pleased. And it is really a pity that we didn't see each other, because we could get some reflection from you. But of course, the discussion of us, I would say, I really would like to go a little bit further, because we really have to talk about inclusive European democracy, and of course, how to develop the franchise and promote political participation within the European Union. And I can tell you that I was chairing the EU-China Youth Forum for sometimes during the afternoon, and of course it was very interesting where are the common values and where are the different values in our two continents, I would say. And I think that we can all agree that Europe has been based on the concept of adopting the same values and of course the same principles. And of course I'm sure that we all agree that these are human dignity, freedom, equality, and solidarity based on the principle of democracy and the rules of law. And of course, these European values are non-negotiable. And of course, what I think and I believe that beside the fact that we know that these are the factors that have created bond between the member states that are so different, and this is now, I would say, our unique project, the European integration could be, I would say, created. The economic, financial, and I would go further, moral crisis, which is social, cultural, and ecological as well, has created, I would say, new challenges and will have major consequences on not only on the economic growth, but on the integration process as well. And of course, the composition of the structure of the European Union are changing. So I think we have to be realistic, as are the internal and external power balance. The crisis shows that a new comprehensive approach is needed on a long-term basis, and I think that us parliamentarians, we are really ready for this new challenge, I would say. And I'm also convinced that these challenges can only be tackled through a true European debate, and this true European debate is missing from Europe. And of course, the reason is very simple. When you have, I would say, the council members, prime ministers, chancellors, they're doing the job here, they are true, convinced European. They talk about Europe as a great construction, but when they go home, they are national politicians, I would say, and they don't use the word Europe, or they use very rarely this word of Europe. And then, of course, if things goes well, then they might say that was thanks for Brussels, but most of the case, what you hear, that it didn't work because that's bad because of Brussels. So let's be realistic. If you have a type of double language, which our leaders make, I would say, in Europe, it is very important to make critical for ourselves, so that is not by chance that European citizens didn't go and vote and went on only 42% the last European parliamentary election. So that's why I believe that this new instrument, which we made with a great enthusiasm, I would say, would give us a type of guidance. But you can imagine that we worked very hard how to make it visible, clear, accessible for ordinary citizens, and just to put a pressure on our parliamentary communication team, the communication team of the Commission, just to make it clear that European citizens should know about this new tool. And of course, when somebody asked me at the debate last time, what happens if we cannot start the first citizens initiative of 1st of April? And I said that it would be a blame on us. So I wouldn't take the risk to not do it and not to be ready with these new instruments, I would say. And of course, if I may say, this might have been one of the causes of the crisis, that we didn't have this real European debate. So I strongly believe that we have to include everyone who has something to say. But of course, we bring this new instrument and we have this crisis, and ordinary people have to think about whether I am capable to buy the bread for next morning. So let's be realistic as European politicians as well. We really don't know whether we have the so-called organizational committees, 7 citizens coming from 7 member states. And of course we had a huge debate whether civil society should be the front runner with the parties, but we decided if we would like to offer an instrument for ordinary citizens, and it is called Citizens Initiative, then we cannot give the so-called role for the political parties or for us. And of course the reason why we really wanted to get 7 different countries, because we really wanted to make it clear that we need and we would like to moderate a type of European debate. And of course, let's be clear that we have several obstacles on this, but let's see the 2 basic points on that. Of course, one of them is the nature of the political debate in Europe. We don't have a real transnational European discussion, and of course we are having parallel dialogues in member states that lead to greater divergence instead of more unity. That's what I see. And as I already told you, the habits leads to a strange situation where politicians come to Brussels, act on the way, and of course then they go home where they feel free to blame Europe for all the wrongs in our lives. So I think it is a mistake, and of course I believe that we have growing extremism because of these people turn away from politics because they don't believe in this construction any longer. So no wonder that this causes strong misinterpretation among the voters and citizens about the whole purpose of Europe and the European Union. Of course, I told you that we had a low turnout at the last European parliamentary election, and of course, which means that we don't really enjoy the trust of our voters, and this puts in question the legitimacy of the whole EU construction. So that's why we all European parliamentarians have to work out how can we get closer to get at a so-called personal touch with the European citizens. So we are in desperate need of a more inclusive European democracy that is based on our common values and principles, on by participation of citizens, not only the elites, and where the debates are, I would say, truly European. So what can be done in order to achieve this? Of course, we have to think about this. And I'm sorry to say that I don't have a definitive answer because I'm a fair player. I'm not going to tell that I have a fantastic option and then I would like to say it is not working. So we need a better, improved understanding of each other's culture, values, and of course historical backgrounds. This improved understanding is essential for more unity and of course a type of integration. And of course, I also would like to say that the creation of European election lists would probably also boost citizens' participation at the EP election at least, but let's see how it will function. And one thing is sure that I also understood that now, 1 year prior to the European Parliament election, now finally the Commission and the Parliament started to make a common agenda. And of course, this alone cannot be enough if we have a sort of elite-driven mechanism, which would turn into a type of more democratic system. And of course, let me emphasize that the electoral process is means of giving citizens ownership over democracy. But I'm sure that my great colleagues can continue, as I also have to respect time. Thank you very much.